Welcome back, gamers. So, I'm back from my little rest from the Attack on Titan Day Zero builds. Thank you so much for watching them and engaging with them. I've had some pretty cool comments and other like conversations in the comments and on Discord about them, and I really appreciate you guys checking those out for me. But I am back now, and over the Albuquerque regional, we had official reveals for the Street Fighter 6 Challenger Series characters. Now, we had seen these characters before on the license page for Street Fighter 6 in the UVS Games website, but you kind of had to zoom in and they were a little blurry. So now we've got full context characters, and I wanted to just go over them and kind of talk through them a little bit, see what you guys think. I already know who I'm playing, so that doesn't matter. You're not changing my mind. But let's start off with Ryu World Warrior. He's a 6 hand size, 32 health character with all fire and void. He's a brawler, which all 4 of them are, which is really cool. As an enhance that is tenacious or playable while Ryu is committed, your non-tech, non-weapon card gets +2 damage, or attack I should say. So as long as it's not a tech or a weapon, it's like a punch, a kick, a ranged, a slam, a titan, it's going to get +2 damage. So free +2 damage on all of your attacks. That's pretty good. I love this response though. Response commit. After an attack is completely blocked, draw 3 cards and then add 1 card from your hand to the top of your deck. That's insane. I'm going to draw 3 cards and then put this 6 check from my hand on top of my deck just cuz. That's nutty. I think this guy's going to be pretty good. Like I said, as long as the attack doesn't have the tech or weapon keyword, you're just getting free damage on it. That's pretty solid. You would just then have to find the speed, but even then, if you or your rival completely blocks an attack, you just get to draw 3 cards. That's ridiculous. Imagine he does have the all symbol. Imagine doing a whole bunch of like all draw stuff and then ending with like a Suzuki Flurry, which is a ranged attack, and getting +5 damage because you've drawn 5 cards, and you're just ending with a 5 high 10 when you're already putting 2 damage on all of your attacks, so it's like a 5 high 12, and if your rival doesn't have a way to block it, or you use Suzuki Flurry to spend a momentum, your rival has to discard a card in order to block it as well, and they only have like 1 card in their hand, you could just dunk on someone with that. That is really cool. I think of the Ryu and Luke Challenger series, Ryu's the one I'm more interested in. But speaking of, let's talk about Luke Sullivan, Gym Coach. He is a 6 hand size, 30 health character, brawler, with all earth and fire. So both of these characters, share all and fire, with Ryu having void, which I think is interesting, and Luke having earth. Also, it's really nice to see the all symbol getting some support again. I wish it was more than just in Challenger Series. We haven't had any all cards since the solo leveling Challenger Series, and I don't think we've had any all cards. Let's see, was Girl Power? Was Girl Power the last time we had all cards? Yeah. Well, technically, yeah, because we had Rodan, but Girl Power was the last set in which we had the all symbol featured. So I'm glad that we're getting all back a little bit. But Luke Sullivan, Gym Coach, he has an enhanced. This attack gets +1 or -1 speed. Then, if this attack speed is exactly 5, it gets +2 or -2 damage. So this is kind of interesting. It's a very flexible enhance. It's -1 speed on all your rivals' moves, potentially -2 damage as well. But it also means even if you're just playing a printed 4 speed suite of attacks, they're all 5 speed +2 damage. Just for playing a 4 mid 4 is now a 5 mid 6. So that's free stats that you're getting on all of your attacks as long as they're you know, the printed 4 speed, so you can get +1 speed. But you can also play like a 6-speed move if you're not too worried about the speed. So play a 6-speed move, -1 speed to 5 just to get the extra damage. It's really flexible. It's got that kind of like boxer bob and weave style thing. And then we have response once per turn. After an attack is completely blocked, look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it. So this is once per turn, obviously, but it's once per turn, both players' turns. So unlike Ryu, who has to commit in order to draw 3, twice over a turn cycle, as long as attacks are being completely blocked, you get to basically scope out your next check, which is pretty good. And then you've got, like I said, as long as your attacks are like a printed 4 speed, obviously like 3 or less, and you can even just give +1 speed to all of your attacks and not necessarily aim for the 5 to get the extra damage if you're not too worried about it. But he makes middling attacks better and actually gets more value out of it, so I think that's kind of cool. Kind of like an underdog, taking things that were kind of looked down upon and not thought of as very good and turning them into a better suit for yourself. But again, of the two, I like Ryu better, just because free damage on all of your attacks and then plus a draw 3, and you get to stack the top card of your deck. That's nuts. And again, with access to the all symbol, you have, what's the Genkai card? Final Test. So imagine you put an attack on top of your deck after drawing 3, but you've discarded during this turn because of some sort of like draw discard kind of deal, like a Botan's coaching or something. Well, not Botan's coaching because it doesn't have all, but you know what I mean. You have some way to discard a card from your hand. You could just flip Final Test and draw the card you stacked on top of your deck. So it was an actual draw 3. So that's really good. But moving on, we have Chun-Li, Martial Arts Master. She's a 6 hand size, 31 health character with the Brawler trait, Air, Order, and Water. She has once per turn, clear 1 kick from your card pool, ready 1 foundation, your attack gets +2 speed. So you're clearing progressive difficulty, you're readying a foundation, and you get free speed, all for clearing a kick from your card pool. That's pretty good. You are locked into a kicks package for the most part if you want to use this enhance, but that's a pretty good enhance, and there are a lot of good kicks on these symbols. Then we have response. After your attack is completely blocked, your rival freezes 1 committed foundation. This is not a once per turn, so if your rival has to play that perfect defense, they're going into their turn with less resources. So, kind of good, and especially if you're including the speed, you're readying a foundation once per turn, you're getting rid of progressive difficulty, especially if that kick was completely blocked, so it's not going to your momentum anyway. That's pretty good. So yeah, she's neat. I like that the freeze is not once per turn. Everyone else seems to have a once per turn-ish if an attack is completely blocked. And I find it interesting that all of these characters, as we'll see with the last one here in a minute, have something to do if an attack is completely blocked. Something to think about. And lastly, we have my boy, Jamie Siu, Peacekeeping Breakdancer. This is the character I am betting it all on in Louisville. I'm on version 4, I think, of how I want to run him. I'm still tweaking. Obviously, we don't know what are in these Challenger Series decks, and that's going to be the last piece of information I need. But I've been testing him with all sorts of different builds. I've played him on, I think, all 3 symbols at this point, maining. No, I've mained him on air and water. I have not tried a main fire build, but it's just because for what I've been wanting to do, air and water have been the 2 I've gravitated towards. But he is a 7 hand size, 22 health character with the Brawler trait. So we have 3 6s and a 7. No 5-handers. Come to think of it, I don't think we've ever seen a 5 hand size Challenger Series character. I think they've all been 6s and 7s, and then Mothra, who is an 8 for some reason. I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be cool to see a Challenger Series character with a 5-hand size and see what they do with its own contained deck. Yeah, because all of the Star Trek characters were all 6s and 7s as well. So Jamie, response, commit once per turn. After you play an attack, add 1 drink counter to this card. So that's pretty cool. And you might think, well, it commits. Of course it's going to be once per turn, except we have Enhanced Tenacious. Your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each drink counter on this card. Maximum 4. So you can get up to +4 speed and +4 damage. That is a lot. And if your attack is completely blocked, ready this card. So after you get the first drink counter on your first attack, if they completely block it, you can ready him. Then you can commit him to pass checks. And then if you played another attack, commit him to pass the check. Play this enhance again, give your attack speed and damage, and if they completely block that one, you ready him up again. That is huge. And then that's why the response commit is once per turn, because if he keeps readying and committing, he's just going to reach critical mass way too quickly. And this does say once per turn, and after you play an attack. But we have seen an attack kind of previewed that has a way to play itself on your rival's turn after an attack is completely blocked. So we can technically commit on our rival's turn to get a drink counter if we play that specific attack. I don't know if reversal is coming back as is. We do know that this card that we were shown has the drive trait. I'll bring it up here. UVS games, Universus licenses, Street Fighter 6. Yeah, so here's the characters. But here, this Aerial Kikosho, let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, Aerial Kikosho. Let me zoom in a little bit more. It says hand drive 1 as a response. Add this card to your card pool. After a completely blocked attack resolves, try to play this attack from your card pool. It gets -2 difficulty and +2 speed. So it becomes a 4 difficulty, 6 high for 7 after an attack is completely blocked. Now, we don't know what drive does. So drive 1, we do not know what that means. Hopefully, we'll find out soon. TM. I would love to know this weekend. Granted, I will be at a convention as of time of recording, but I would love to know as soon as possible, please. But this is a really cool idea that's very much reminiscent of the old reversal from Retro, which was nuts and makes Jamie really, really good. But yeah, and this is a charged Fury. It's not like a kick. And then we have, I guess, the ultra rare for Ryu is a Shin Hashogeki, which is a powerful 3, charged Fury Slam, 6 mid 4. Response after this attack receives a damage bonus of 2 or greater. Your rival commits a foundation, and it's got powerful 3, so you can spend momentum to give it 3 damage. So you could just dunk damage on damage on damage on this thing, 2 damage at a time, and just tap your opponent's whole board out. We don't know what the difficulty on this is. I would assume it's another 6 diff, but holy crap, that's a really powerful attack. So we'll get rid of that. But yeah, obviously Jamie is the one I've been looking forward to of these 4. Ever since we heard Street Fighter 6 was coming out, I wanted Jamie to be in the game. I've not played Street Fighter 6, but he is a drunken fist breakdancer, and I think both of those styles, like the capoeira breakdance fighting style plus drunken fist, are 2 really incredible fighting styles in my opinion. I love martial arts. I've studied all sorts of different ones. Studied as opposed to practice because there's only so much money that I have, so I can't actually take classes. But I do love Drunken Fist as just a hilarious and interesting style, and I have not been able to play with a Drunken Fist character in Universus, because the only one that we've had has been Shin Gensai from King of Fighters Ruler of Time? Neomax. King of Fighters Neomax. And he was banned before I even knew this game existed. Granted, he deserved it. That card should never have been printed. So I wanted, once I found out Jamie was going to be in the game, I vowed that I was going to play him no matter what he did. And then I found out what he did, and I thought, this is amazing. This is the character I'm going to bet my world's chances on. So if you see me in Louisville, I'm coming for top 16, because that guarantees that I get world's points, or the world's invite, and I don't have to be all sweaty and competitive for my locals, and I can help them earn their world's points. So if you want to help a small group out, now I'm not asking for charity. I would never do that. I'd feel bad if that happened. But those are the 4 characters coming out in July for the Street Fighter 6 Challenger Series. Which of these 4 are you most excited for, and why is Jamie the absolute top of the 4? Not just because he's the only 7-hander. Seriously, UVS Games, give us a 5-hand size Challenger Series character. I'd really like to see, especially if it's like a Sung Jin Woo, where it's the one character as opposed to a twofer, because designing a deck around a 5-diff, or a 5-hander, I think would be so cool. But let me know what you guys think of these 4 down below, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.